here at WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. Breathe. It's like how many days? So today is the second, and it's 31 days in October. That means it's 29 days, that's 5 days, and we'll be voting on the 5th of November. 34 days. 34 days. We got 34 days. I'm gonna talk about it, but we got 34 days. But let me say what's up to the folks in the studio. We got superstars. We got Big Red up in here. Big Red, what up, player?
She starts as soon as she hits the door.
I got my Adidas.
I open the door and I'm like, "Good morning."
Good
morning, Big Red.
Fight the power.
You can't win.
Fight
you can't win.
No, Public Enemy wouldn't have no red.
Yeah.
Fight the
They
power.
black, straight black.
I'm just saying, what's up, player?
Got
your hat to the back.
Yeah.
Got your jury on.
All the time.
Would say, I have it over to have on my back all the time. Wait, you look like your bathrobes.
I do.
You just got a whole t-shirt and some
Michelle,
underwear.
all in my house.
You
You
look like,
make sure I have
you
a
look like
bathrobe.
the bathrobe type.
I got a book bathrobe. I got a active bathrobe.
I know those was Christmas gifts.
They were. But then I got on standby. You got that one that they wish you just throw away.
Oh, you got one of them?
Oh, yeah, I got one.
We didn't have those.
Yeah.
I know y'all t-shirts.
Them the ones we like.
Y'all undergarments be a hot mess.
Them the ones
Like,
we like.
bruh, you got a safety pin in your trunk.
I'm like Linus with that one there. I'm safe when I'm in that one. You know what I'm talking about? The other one is too fluffy.
Is it too fluffy?
Too much going on.
What's all this shit you going on?
Because that's what it make you do when you put it on. You
You'd be like, I'm Al in the building.
Al.
Al.
Mercury
I'm
even.
shimmying.
Yeah,
Well,
that
I mean, you look at all dapper this morning.
Hey, I heard Kyrie cut up.
Oh my God. Showed up. Like, you had to step back and be in awe. Like, oh my God, that's this.
So he turned into somebody else.
Kyrie, it just
What he
was
told
a
him
little
yesterday.
early. It was a little early. I was watching him doing media interviews.
Wow.
It was crazy. I had to wave from the sideline.
Oh, like
a fan.
Yeah.
He shouted me out. Like, he pointed at me like,
I see you. I see you play.
it was like,
Wow.
my people. I was like, oh my God, those somebody's people.
Wow.
Yes. Good morning,
That's
Carmen.
good to hear, though. Awesome.
How you doing? Yeah, it was phenomenal.
We're still working on
Great
getting that mic
feedback.
going.
You gonna get T-Ball. You
working.
got a fake mic sitting over
Yeah.
there, or unconnected mic. It's so out of order and disrespectful.
No,
Could you get him a working mic, please?
You'll have one before the show is over.
No, he won't.
You're right. I'm gonna get up and get on it right away.
You know what, Big Red? Don't nobody believe
Trust me, because my office hours are what?
Somebody sent me something that just said my office hours are from 9 to 5.
And what did I just say? My office hours are what?
Why did they send me something my office hours
That's
are
what
from 9
we read.
to 5? Oh, that's right.
My office hours are what? When I just said you
The person who texted me, I'm super slow. It's too early. I didn't even get it this morning. And I'm literally, when I was saying Big Red, I was thinking about Big Red. But what he say? My office hours are from what? 9.
Yeah.
Don't play Big Red. He is such. Oh my God, he is such a special individual. Everything he played in, he looked crazy.
He that role though.
He definitely has been tight.
That was neat. Well, when he went off, the hair was running, jumping all over the place.
Oh my God,
Rain.
he looked crazy. Let me do this. Let me say good morning to some folks. Hey, voice record. Hey, I got to be careful. And the wrong person got a message. Turn this off. And thank God. I was talking about him, but it went real bad. But G. You know, the word G don't really go with your Adidas fit. I'm gonna need you to come up with some more culturally appropriate terms,
You
tone
want me to say,
deafers.
damn,
Jeez.
damn.
I'm just saying. Jeez doesn't really go
That's,
with the Adidas fit.
so you were talking
Oh,
while
wait.
while we're doing,
Yeah.
but
Well, so
but it didn't say.
it got sent. Yeah, I sent it. I said, well, let me just say this. I was doing a voice message and I was talking about somebody, and I was sending it to one person, but I accidentally sent it to the person I was talking about.
Real messiness.
I didn't know because I didn't say nothing out of pocket, and they know I ain't say nothing I wouldn't say to their face. So when they saw it, they was just like, just watch how you come for me. I was like, "Pot, I'm at you. You ain't got to worry about how I come for you." So yeah, I don't care about that. Look, I
See,
ain't gonna never say nothing that if it gets said out loud, I'll be like, "Yeah, I said it." People know I
we
said
we
it.
we know, we know
I
what
said
we're
it.
dealing with. We
You
know.
know, I'm looking at your shirt. It's making me think of my grandson. I had sent him a couple of, and so he got the Adidas picture out. He said, "Adidas."
That's the same thing she said that morning.
Oh, who?
Miss Jack.
Miss Jackie. Oh, that's
Maybe
right. We
she's
had
like,
this
y'all
conversation
didn't tell
before.
me we was all wearing Adidas today. I said, excuse me? Y'all got on y'all Adidas and ain't nobody told me.
I'm like, and I think we did all have on
Right,
Adidas fits
right,
that day for
right.
some reason. And yeah, my grandson, like, John stood on it. He was like, "It say Adidas." Like, no, bruh, it does not
Miss
say
Jackie too. I ain't never known
Adidas.
it to say nothing but Adidas. That's what it is, Adidas.
Oh,
Because then Kirby was cracking up. He was like, I think she's trying to
we we go. We
everybody
not
got on
we
Adidas up
not
in here
go.
this morning.
We're not gonna get that people. It's a generational thing.
It
Uh,
is.
so uh
Grandmama wore Adidas. She would call
the joke family clearly is different.
it.
Chi-Town's fine.
No, no.
Mississippi bound,
Kentucky.
Tennessee, Kentucky.
Columbus,
Your
Kentucky.
people are devoted to tell family stories
Yeah.
that have been forever. Tommy said,
That's why your damn mic ain't hooked up. Right there.
have
Just bust out.
forever jaded the way we view your family.
I watched my grandmama do a roundhouse kicking. Totally right in that face, totally
A
open. She did a roundhouse. Bruce ain't had nothing on
Your
her. Bruce
grandma,
knew that. My grandmama, yeah, she didn't play.
bruh.
She didn't play.
I don't know what kind of you got.
And I'm telling you now, if
But
you'd have met her, she's
Cuckoo Cow sang my projects last night. You came to mine.
he did. Man,
He
I hate I missed
did.
that. I
He
hate
did.
I
I
missed
got
that.
it on video.
In
Cuckoo
my
Cow came
project.
in and got down. The
That's
event that Wisconsin Voices did, um, along with Milwaukee Turners, um, NAACP, he got a little piece of it.
mm-hmm.
Um, Absolutely great. You know, people were worried. You say concert,
The young
people trickle
folks.
in slow.
Yeah.
So people are like, "Oh my God, I hope the numbers." I was like, "Yo, first of all, you can't say concert. I think people will be here at 7 o'clock. This is not a dinner." So people started, following through, and a lot of people they come and stay here. The room got thick, and we actually had an opportunity to engage people as they were coming and going. People were directed downstairs to talk about the importance and the significance of the vote on November 5th. And so, shout out to Wisconsin Voices. But I do need to say this. I don't know who requested it, so I'm going to be tempered in my comments. The Milwaukee police presence at that event, down by that event, irritated my whole soul yesterday. Because as soon as I pulled up, I immediately see police, and I parked my car, and there was a car parked next to me, really nice car parked next to me, and I watched the police, and now I'm talking to young brother from the radio station sees me, we engaging. His back is to the police, but I'm facing them, and I watched them walk around this car that's parked next to my truck, and they kind of like looking in, peering in. It's 3 officers, and I'm like, no, nobody's in this car. I'm like, what's going on with this car? And I saw plates and everything, but maybe it's stolen. I don't know. But they just kept, getting out and doing all kinds of stuff. Then ultimately, they walk away from the car and they go towards the venue to turn around that they're going in. So at different points, because I stayed outside for a little while, At one point, I think I saw 4 police vehicles out in front of when we leave, I see 3 police vehicles parked. And nothing else is going on downtown. Like, it's dead. What was yesterday?
It wasn't down there.
No, this is last night at, like, 9, 10 o'clock.
Oh, that late. Okay.
Yeah. So nothing else is going on. Everything's closed, for the most part. What was yesterday? Nothing going on downtown on the police presence, and I'm gonna say, I don't know if you requested that look. I don't know why there was that look, but all of these black people gathered for a voting event, even though it was a concert, it was a bad look to me. And I haven't had an opportunity yet to reach out to the chief or whoever is the captain in that district. I wanna understand why them damn police cars were sitting out, because as you are here to have a good time, the first thing you gotta do is see the damn master and the overseer over your shoulder, sitting right at the front door.
Mhm.
And when you walk out the door, them the first 3 things I saw is these damn squads, and I, like, immediately got irritated. I said, "People don't understand how that becomes a power trip,
What about
because I don't see y'all doing that at a lot of white
maybe
events."
maybe then you request
And that's why I said I'm being tempered, it don't sound like it. I'm being tempered in my my
even though it don't
comments.
sound like
I
it.
know. Yeah, I'm the first to
It don't.
acknowledge it may not sound like it, but I really didn't like that. And it's like, again, you need an overseer, you need somebody standing outside for certain events and certain people. And I've been downtown. I know what police presence looks like in some of these spots. And it's one thing to be walking around and moving through the crowds. They literally parked right by the buildings, like, yeah, we looking at y'all. And it was uncomfortable. I didn't care for it. People noticed it. So whether it was a decision and a request of venue, whether it was um, the area police officers believing that that's what they needed to do because y'all saw too many black people convening and didn't realize it was for a get out the vote party. It was a bad look, and that's why people don't like messing around in certain parts of this town because you understand the treatment can be different. And so I just had to say that because when I say, and there was other people that noticed it, other people talked to me last night. I was on the phone with people later that night, didn't care for that look at all,
Mhm.
that all these squads is posted up around this building. So that, but aside from that, everything else was cool. I need to this morning do a couple of things. First, let me say good morning to people. Good morning to my fam out in Cincinnati. What's going on, Shelby? To the baby boy, what's happening? Good morning, Racine. Good morning, Alex. I'm glad to see you back in the game and reaching out. It's funny. One of the listeners to the show, he hits me up on Facebook, and I tell people I don't look at Facebook all the time. But if I'm sitting here in the studio and my notifications come through, I'll see it. And Alex will shout out every morning, "Hey, good morning. What's up? Good morning. Good morning." And then I noticed there was a period where there was no Alex. And so I'm watching. I'm like, let me send a message to check in on this bro because I haven't seen him, haven't heard from him. And so I sent him something. And he's like, "Yeah, I've been under the weather, but I'll be back." And then so I saw he had checked back in. So good morning, fam. I'm glad you're doing better. And to the young people on their way to school. Debo, let me see if I can play something. I have been over the top enamored with all of the tributes to Frankie Beverly. And I posted one on my Facebook page of Southern University. There was a football game, and the crowd, they played Before I Let Go. And so the DJ was playing so much of it. And then the crowd started singing the rest of the song. And it's one of the most beautiful moments. I absolutely, absolutely love, that video. So this morning, my brother sent me one because I've been on that lately. And let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Um, and this is to that point of what we expose our children to and what we do with them. So let me see if I got it. Okay. I will send it to myself. Hang on, y'all. But anyway, so absolutely loving what folks are doing. Still paying tribute to Frankie Beverly. This has not. Oh, there it is, my brother. This has not been something that. Hang on, I'm gonna send it to my email.
Okay.
Hang on, y'all. I'm so sorry. I should have had it already queued up, but I didn't. So y'all will live. But while I am doing that, if you had an opportunity to watch the debate last night, I'd be interested to know what you thought about it. Um, I didn't watch it because I was out and I was going to record it, but I didn't. And I thought I would just cheat and and read all of the comments and see what people had to say and opinions. But I am interested to know because I've heard a couple people that thought that uh Tim Walls could have been more aggressive with JD Vance and that he was allowed to, say a little bit too much. But if you watch Tim Walls, you got to understand his style. We don't have to, come to blows. I understand that it was very congenial. Um, the banter didn't get personal. They talked about the respective heads of the ticket, and there was pushback. JD Vance got a little animated when they did some fact checking on him that he didn't appreciate. So yeah, if you um, don't mind, if you got an opinion about the debate, please let me know. You can reach us here at 414-444-52. No, I'm good. Bye. 5250 or 414-444-5253. Okay. I think I got a video and I'm gonna play it for you. Serious right now. Stop playing. It just don't let him. Just let okay.
You want to go?
Yeah,
It's not a break.
it's just getting on my nerves. Every time you want to do something. All right, family. I'll be back. All right, family, welcome back to the show. So I am still trying to figure out, but I have had people hit me up and weigh in on the debate. Let me take a moment and read what has come in so far. First thing I got, where did it go? Where did it go? Somebody said key takeaway from the debate um, is Vance is a bigger threat than Trump. Ooh, oh, we can't let Trump win. Someone said if Trump wins, they can vote. Oh, okay. Someone said if Trump wins, they can invoke the 25th Amendment, and then we can have Vance. Trump is cuckoo, but Vance is cold and calculating. He was able to lie with a straight face throughout the debate. Someone else weighed in, and they said the moderators were dry. Tim Walz is not a great speaker. He stumbled over his words several times. JD Vance is a better communicator, speaks with conviction, and is persuasive. JD repeatedly said the Harris administration, and I was glad to hear Walz correct him by saying the Biden Harris administration. Overall, the debate was boring and too long. Someone else said the VP debate brought us back to boring politics, and it was refreshing. Wall struggled early with global policy, but Van struggled at the end to answer on his justification of January 6th and other adjacent topics. Someone else weighed in and he said Tim Wall seems like a genuine man. Uh, James David, JD Van, James David did nothing but lie. I love that he said James David did nothing but lie. Other than that slip up with Tim Walz about Tiananmen Square, he won the debate. I have seen a number of, you know, talkers this morning, polls that were taken after the debate were over. People felt like that, yes, in fact, um, he had Tim Walz had won the debate. So we'll see. They also talked about, percentage points for these folks going up in the course of it all, terms of personal likability or trust or people seeing them in a leadership role. So we'll continue to talk about the debate over the course of the morning. Somebody said, I do but I never did. What? What's that? What was it? Somebody 41 years old was killed in a shooting on 14th. Yeah, we got real issues. Speaking of people passing, let me take a moment. Can I play this? Let me just I'm ready. Hold on. I don't know why
Can't do this, so I should behave in such a way or fashion. I don't like the idea, regardless of anyone telling me I can't do this, so I should behave in such a way or fashion. That's why I got into the business to express myself, make people laugh, and make them forget about stupid stuff like that.
I ain't got nothing against talking to him. Yeah, I have got something against listening to him.
I was very fortunate to come along in television when there was an era of good writing, and we spoke about issues that caused everybody concern on normal news shows. I'm very proud to be a part of that.
Does this look like a man that's sick? Does this look like I got hypertension? Huh?
A message of morality and inspiration, but wrapped in an envelope of humor, which is the best way to deliver a message.
John Amos was America's dad. He was best known for his role on the iconic show Good Times, the first sitcom to feature a black household with two parents on primetime TV.
It was a family in the projects, an economically deprived family We began to touch on issues that were of concern to everyone. Things like gang warfare, an episode in which JJ got shot, teenage pregnancy. These were issues that transcended color and issues that everybody across the board, regardless of their ethnic background, could identify with and could appreciate.
But it was his clash with the writers that led to his dismissal from the show after only 3 seasons.
My main concern as a writer and as an African American male was that we not perpetuate the negative image, the negative stereotypes that had been foisted on the public for so many years, like television and film. And I wasn't the most diplomatic guy in those days. So when Norman Lear decided and his staff decided that they had to kill James Evans off, in retrospect, I can understand it because I probably would have fired John Amos too, because he was not the nicest guy in those days. I was what you call the atypical young man. Now that I'd like to think I've matured, I probably would have approached a lot of the differences that I had with them more diplomatically. But diplomacy was not my forte in those days. I was about, well, let's go outside. I'm from New Jersey, and confrontations were part of life growing up in New Jersey.
You must regret that now.
No, I have no regrets. I was told after I was killed off of Good Times, never would. As God would have it, though, less than 6 or 7 months later, David Walper cast me as a part of the adult Kunta Kinte and Roots. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Being alone and being free, all the same for a slave.
Roots remains one of the biggest TV events of all time. Back in 1977, the miniseries aired over 8 consecutive nights instead of weekly because ABC executives feared it would not have wide appeal. But instead, it brought in about 130 million viewers, earning John a Primetime Emmy nomination.
It was a monumental moment in this country's history. I often am asked, why do you think so many people tuned in? It was divine intervention. If you recall, when Roots aired, we had one of the heaviest snowstorms in the history of the country on the East Coast, and people literally couldn't get out of their homes for 3 and 4 days. And it just so happened that those 3 or 4 days fell in conjunction with the airing of Roots.
That's you, rest easy.
I don't think any American or perhaps even any foreign television viewers really knew the reality of the institution of slavery and how families were devastated and how the contributions that we as a race of people were made through some seemingly overwhelming obstacles. On a personal level, it means a great many things. It was vindication for me in a way because I was one of 4 African-American students to integrate the New Jersey school system. It meant so much on so many levels.
John's career took off after moving west for college. He had a brief stint in the NFL before getting his big break as the weatherman on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
This is Gordon Howard filling in for the vacation.
I was kind of spoiled coming out of the Mary Tyler Moore Show. The writing was incredible. The fact that the show won so many Emmys and the fact that each member of that cast, of the Mary Tyler Moore cast, was able to spin off into their own show successfully. I was a little apprehensive about leaving that show to go do an unproven product, but it ultimately turned out to be a good choice.
He went on to amass more than 100 acting credits with recurring roles on 2.5 Men, The District, and The West Wing.
Yes, sir.
And who could forget when he teamed up with Eddie Murphy in the 80s cult classic Coming to America.
Son, I'm just going to tell you this one time. You want to keep working here.
It worked better than I thought it would. It's terrific, man. It really is.
And what about working with Eddie?
Hey, it's something you hope you can do. And see James Earl Jones in the same company. It's great. I had a ball.
33 years later, he reprised his role in the sequel, but the biggest role of John's lifetime was being a father to his 2 kids, Casey and Shannon.
I just called to say how much I
I try and impress upon both my children and now my granddaughter how important it is that they establish and create some entity of their own that they can control creatively, not just for the financial rewards, but for the satisfaction that you get when you have something. As someone who's been married and divorced 3 times, I'm not much on giving advice about matters or affairs of the heart. Don't take any of this too seriously. It's not brain surgery. And enjoy the moment. Because Only God knows how long it's going to last.
All right, family. So I wanted to take a second. That was done by Entertainment Tonight, a tribute that was put together regarding John Amos. One thing that I think kind of caught people off guard as they learned about the passing of this iconic individual in, um, the Black community and talking about Black stories and Black experiences, that he actually died in August. We're just learning about it. The family, they didn't say why they chose to wait this long. He did die of natural causes, according to his son, Casey Amos. But, they may have just needed to take time as a family to deal in the process with everything that had going on. We had also, everybody remember when we lost Esther Roll. And so somebody, I was looking at a lot of messages people were posting. And it's just like we losing a lot of the legends, a lot of the great. And I thought about Carly, honestly, uh, when I was listening to this because, again, these people have been so instrumental. You know, I don't know that the 19-year-old young man of today has seen Roots. That the 19-year-olds of today understand the significance of, when this man says this television show, in terms of Good Times, which thank God you can still see in syndication now. But this TV show was the very first TV show that depicted a husband and both Black parents in the home, that everything had been single parents and primarily single Black females. And that was a part of a message that was being sold to not only us as a community, but to the broader country and even around the world, that Black families were not intact, that this is what they look like, that men were absentee fathers and not present. And so his role was such a strong role. But I also hope that people heard what he said about whatever it was he brought to. 'Cause I didn't realize till he did 3 I remember when he got killed off. I remember there was some controversy about him in the studio. Norman Lear, they had fell out. But people behind the scenes later in life that I ended up talking to, and he alludes to it a little bit. He showed his role behind because he didn't like the way certain things was happening. He didn't like the way brothers was being portrayed on the show, and he brought it to him in a way. He said, "Not perfect." That was straight ghetto when he like got that Norman Lear. They wasn't used to it, and then he already had that imposing voice and figure about him, and he was a big brother, muscular looking brother. I think he was probably scared of him too. And what did he say? I appreciated what she said. So you must have regrets. I said, no, I have no regrets. I did what I did, and life ended up working out. But I wouldn't have done that, in hindsight, I would have did it different. So to be able to learn from those things and hear those things,
But realistically, could it have been done in that?
if, of course,
I mean, and had it real bearing, real any effect, what would have been different in the outcome? Is it maybe like you saw a show come around like a Jefferson's where Black folks were finally had made it or what have you, successful?
when I'm gonna tell you,
That would be another first, wouldn't it? Where you saw a prosperous Black family
yeah,
living
that
in
was
a
the
penthouse,
first. Yeah.
versus the
So,
projects.
so the Jeffersons was first broadcast January 18th, 1975. Let me see did when did Amos leave?
They were spin off actually from
Oh, in
the family.
fact, so John Amos left. Because I'm trying to see time frame wise, what's the correlation? What year did he leave? Let me see. Because that's actually an interesting observation. And I didn't mention before we got. Okay, so no, he left. Well, still kind of. John Amos left Good Times in 1966. The Jeffersons first in July. I'm talking January 1975. So it was a full year after the Jeffersons aired. Now, maybe some of the things that John up, I don't know, caused the producers of the shows to start thinking about the characterization of black folks. But he was somebody that was always outspoken. He reminds me of a Jim Brown in a lot of ways. And when you talk about uh, when he mentioned in the interview the stars aligning, God, divine intervention, whatever it was that caused people to be in the house. I thought about George Floyd when he was saying that we got a snowstorm like we had never seen before, coincided with this drop. And for 3 to 4 days, people were snowbound in their homes. On the East Coast couldn't leave. And you got all of these viewers. Ends up, turning into one of the most viewed television moments in history. And so it's just so much about his life that was interesting. I forgot about the fact that he saw Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
And he was, oh my God, he's so good. As the weatherman, he plays a straight man real well. Younger people, the iconic role, Coming to America. But when they talked about he had over 100 movies and films to his credit, when they told him after he showed his behind over at Good Times, you'll never work again. He was out of work for 6 months, and then the rest, as he said, was history. So I just thought it was important and significant when you think about the work that Sherman Hemsley and Isabella Sanford did on the Jefferson, what Esther Roll and J.J. Walker and uh, can never remember.
It's amazing. Jimmy Walker, he kind of alluded to the fact that land rolls.
Right.
He did boom. They were
Boom, boom.
yeah, but he never was able to catch his stride again.
I mean, you do have to be careful how you play your career, what you do. You can run into issues, and that's for sure. So we had to stop for a minute this morning in the midst of everything crazy that's happening around us to take 5 and acknowledge the passing of his brother. And like I said, we feeling it this year. We have lost some iconic names um, in this community, and also make sure you understand like your age in relationship to some of these people. Natural. Somebody said, Michelle, can they do a mic check for you? Sounds are reverberating. And, like you're going in and out of a tune. Oh, okay. Maybe with the mic closer, see if that
Yeah,
helps.
that's not
Is that it?
your setting. If you're not talking directly to them, right?
Oh, yeah, because I keep like moving my mouth away. Okay. Normally I had a mic kind of
You got
close.
to keep my phone.
Shut up. Big. Normally I have it closer.
You
And,
gotta keep there you go.
but when I listen to it on YouTube or the streaming, I always sound like too close to the mic. So I moved back. But okay, hopefully let me know if that's better. Yeah, I am moving my mouth away as I talk. Okay. Shut up. Shut up.
Come on, Charlie. Facts.
Nah, you by yourself. You are by yourself. All right. So let me just take a second. There are a number of stories that I have not touched, have not talked about. Got to talk about Hurricane Helene, the damage that's been done. I actually had an opportunity to speak with some Black families that have been impacted, and people have just literally talked about losing everything, absolutely everything, and the inability to get into them right now to get resources to them because the roads are all torn up. Things that, unless you're going through it, you don't think as much about it as you need to. But we got to have that conversation. I already talked to Vaughn Mays last night at the Big Vote event. Like Vaughn, look, are we going to try to do an effort to get some stuff down to some of these families? It's 6 states involved in this storm. Right now, I think the death toll was about 130, 132, something like that. But they expect it to go up because there's still hundreds of people that are unaccounted for. So need to spend a little bit of time talking about that level of devastation and if we tap into what's being done to help those communities. I am very, very proud of the work that Comforce and, Von Mays and all the different folks that step up have done to be able to support communities of color, Black folks in particular, when these disasters have happened or these incidences have happened. I mean, you watch them, they put the call out. We make our donations, whether it be cash or items to drive down. They figure out what people need on that end. They usually have a contact on the ground on that end. And you got Milwaukee's Black community and, supporters um, that ride out and get to these areas to make sure, because number one, there are products that we use that may not be available at American Red Cross. There are things that we have to have that people may not be conscientious of and understand the products that we need. So just to see our community show up in that way, like, hadn't dawned on me. I know I've had moments where I've seen things happening crazy. I make donations all the time. I remember when Flint, Michigan was going through their issue with water. Um, I was working for Chris Abley at the time. It was probably 10:30 at night. And I had just watched the story on how awful things were for Black folks, in particular in Flint, in terms of accessing clean water and what these folks were going through. And I remember picking up the phone and I called Chris Abley and I said, hey, I said, you the county executive here. Can we call the county executive, over in Flint to figure out how we can help? I mean, we always bragging about, Wisconsin and Milwaukee and, water and our, we want to be the fresh coast city or fresh, whatever the hell it is. We want to be all it is. I said, what can we do to help these people, man? And Chris Abley was like, okay, let me think about it. And I'm going to reach out to my counterpart in Flint. The next day when I went into work, Chris Abley had a check that he handed to me for $15,000. And I said, wait, what I'm going to do? And he was like, let's buy him some water if we can't do nothing. We're going to order pallets and cases of water. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, let's work, because I already had learned about some people on the ground. And I had heard about an effort here in Milwaukee. So I reached out to a group of pastors here in Milwaukee and I brought them in to meet with Chris directly. He handed the check off to them so that they could make sure that this water reached the community. But that was like the thing that he did personally. Then he did the reaching out to figure out how could, from one county to another, we could give assistance to the folks in Flint and what was going on. Could we send down, our technicians or experts or people to help? Like, what could we do? Always been that kind of person. How, like you can't see somebody else and look away and like, just shake your head, Lord, that's a shame. And then keep on going about your day. Is there something I can do? Can my church reach out to a church down on that end if we can find anybody and say, y'all, can our church, take up a donation, or can we, get some supplies, or do we just call the Red Cross and call Mark Thomas them and say, Mark, how can we be of assistance? What do you need? Are y'all? I know y'all in the area, so maybe I just make a donation to Red Cross. And you got to look and ask how many organizations do this stuff. And sometimes you gotta like, people in Milwaukee need help. Yeah, but people in Milwaukee didn't lose like absolutely everything. And when I say everything, I mean even the places where they would go to get resources got wiped out. Because it's a difference. It's a difference between, you know, um, I'm homeless and now I gotta try to find a shelter to stay in. I gotta try to find, food to eat. If there are pantries, there are this, there's that. There are places I still can go to get connected to services. The places where these people would go are gone. They're gone. Like some of the banks are gone. I remember when there was a hurricane or no, a tornado in my mother's neighborhood. And I've said this before on the radio. When she had moved to a different area of a different city, and I wasn't used to going there. And I didn't know the area, so I had markers. places before you really pay attention to GPS. I always still wanted to know my way. I didn't want to have to rely on GPS. I would always use this bank as a marker. So I'm going home to see my mom, and I don't see the bank, and I'm like, I gotta be going the wrong way. So finally, I break down and I use GPS, and it gets me to the house. And when I go in, I was like, "Ma," I said, "I couldn't find the bank." She said, "Oh, girl, it's gone." I said, "They tore down the bank?" She said, "No, Imma shade. When we had the tornado wiped the bank." And then she said, "Go back down that street that you normally would have turned on where the bank was." So I knew how to get back that way, leaving her house. There were 5 houses that were gone. My mother said, like, "It looks like those houses were never there." She said, "Those houses all got removed by the tornado." So it's a difference when somebody says, "We got problems in Milwaukee and we can't help everybody." It's a different kind of problem, y'all. It's a different kind of problem. 'Cause you can still go somewhere to hopefully get connected to resources. So if you have not considered what you can do, I'm encouraging churches, take up a love offering and send it to the Red Cross. I'm encouraging people, if y'all got folks in these impacted states and you can still figure out how to get in touch with them, find out if you can find a contact on the ground and figure out how can we help. But do something. And so I just got tall respect for the people in Milwaukee that understand while they feeding and taking care of people in Milwaukee, create opportunities and activities for folks in Milwaukee. Their heart is big enough and they figure out a way to also look out for Black folks in other parts of the country. I got to take a break. I'll be right back. tuned. Hang in for that. But I've got to take a second. I said there have been a number of stories that I have not gotten to or done any service to, just with everything that's going on. But there was a couple of follow ups that I needed to go back and hit. So a little while ago, we had some stories drop about how there had been a mayor over in Warsaw who, on his own, decided to remove the ballot boxes from outside of polling location. Okay, so let me bring the story up because this is Mayor Doug Denny. Uh, you got you got you really do. So on September 22nd, the mayor, and I'm just gonna pull a story because I want to make sure I don't miss it all. But there's a picture. Like, dude had a photo op of this and everything of him taking away the ballot boxes. He got a dolly to remove the city's only drop box, which is placed in front of City Hall in Walsall. This was on the Sunday, and I think it was Sunday, September 22nd. I got the dates backwards. But either way, take a picture. Take a picture. Like, yeah, I'm a boss. That's what I do. So the story goes that this absentee ballot drop that the mayor of Warsaw um, was outside of City Hall for residents to submit absentee ballots, payments, and other important city requests as was intended. So this box could be used for multiple purposes. Mayor Doug Denny removed that drop box without consulting with the clerk, who has the authority of the Wisconsin Supreme Court, a recent ruling legalizing drop boxes to make one available. They are not mandatory in the state, but you can make them available per the ruling of the Wisconsin State Supreme Court. Um, so there has been fights about drop boxes all over the country. Republicans have pushed this as the boogeyman. People are using fraud and people are going to cheat, although there's no evidence to support any of that. Just like Donald Trump said he won the election, and JD Vance was asked about, do you believe Donald Trump won the election last night? And he couldn't answer the question. He wouldn't answer the question. But there have been 60 court cases in which all but one, and it was a minor one, that the courts have affirmed. Nobody cheated you, bro. You lost fair and square. Man up and deal with it, basically. Paraphrasing, but that's basically how it went. So this ruling from the Wisconsin Supreme Court comes out in July, but it still left it up to the local communities to decide whether to use them or not. So more than 60 towns, villages, and cities in 9 counties opted out of using the boxes. So y'all know where they at, right? Y'all know which towns and villages and cities would opt out. It's going to be Republican leading, Republican control municipalities. Um, so the clerk, though, has the ability to make that determination. Not the mayor. Not the mayor. So he wanted the mayor wants the full Washington City Council to discuss whether one should be off. That's what. So that was his. We're gonna let the city council decide. And he takes. So now they've just announced that the Dropbox has been returned. And let me see if I can bring up the story on that real quick. I just can't get over why would you try to make it more difficult? Why would you intentionally try to make it more difficult for people to vote? Because again, what did they say? When more people show up, unfortunately, or unfortunately, depending on your political views, Republicans tend to lose because more and more people don't side with the way they work. So
The box has now been returned, and just real simply, it was returned this past Monday morning after the standoff between the city clerk and the mayor. Um, and there was a comment that just said simple. Well, it was kind of a simple decision. It was go nuclear and make a stand and try to find the right path. This is what Denny said in an interview with Channel 12. All along, it was about bringing it to the council so the council could weigh in. Boy, please stop playing because you could have left it in place and still let the council weigh in and then made a decision. You didn't have to disrupt everything and then make a big show of it. Why was somebody taking a picture of you removing the box? All of that was political grandstanding. You knew exactly what you were doing. It was being done to limit people's ability to access the ballot box. That's what it was. So don't get back and tell me that, oh, it's not what you thought. This was about doing, just a simple and right thing. Stop playing with people. It wasn't your decision to make as the mayor. You didn't have no business touching that ballot box. That was the city clerk's decision. And if the common council was going to weigh in, fine. But you, as the mayor alone, that was not your decision. So I just had to take a minute to talk about that because the other thing he did, we put on like the whole uh, city Department of Public Works hat, gloves. So he got on the construction hat to move a ballot box. Come on, y'all. Okay, I gotta stop for a second and just take a break. I told you we were gonna have a guest on this morning. I understand we got her on the line. So we want to bring her up. None other than Miss Jasmine Harris. Jasmine, are you there?
I'm here. How are you?
Girl, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. I'm struggling this morning as I talk about folks moving ballot boxes. They have no authority to do so. I'm struggling this morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Happy to be on.
Well, I appreciate it. So for folks that are unfamiliar with the name, although as we are looking at different communications coming out from the Harris Wall campaign, even before when it was the Biden Harris ticket, our community has begun to get to know your name and to know you. But introduce yourself, Jasmine, to people that may be unfamiliar with the role that you are currently playing right now in this campaign.
Well, my name is Jasmine Harris. I'm the national director for Black Media on the Harris Wall.
So, just one quick question. Have we ever seen a national media, black media director for any campaign before? Is this a common thing? Because I don't remember it, but maybe there have been. But do you know the backstory?
On previous campaigns, there were definitely folks who did this work, and I have to give kudos to them because they laid the groundwork for me to be able to. Be, not the title may not have always been the same, but there has been a ton of folks who have put in work, both on the official side and on the campaign side over the years. You know, if you kind of look at Eric alone, what she's been able to do at the White House, that's a name a lot of folks recognize there.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you got your hands full in terms of the times piece of everything that's going on. Coming off the BP debate last night, I told people I have to go back and watch it. We were out at a GOTV concert last night, so I didn't get a chance to see it. Got up, read the coverage. Actually had callers to the show, comment about how they thought things went last night. Got some mixed reviews. Interested in understanding from either your perspective or that of the campaign, what they thought about the debate. But if we could set it up for just a moment, just to share with you a couple of the comments that were made by listeners to the show this morning. Some folks said that they thought the board struggled early with the global policy. Van struggled with the justification of the January 6th and adjacent topics. That same person said, but the debate brought us back to boring politics, and it was refreshing. Drama free. We're just talking about issues. That was just one observation. I can bring up some others as we move through the conversation this morning. But What are your immediate takeaways, campaign immediate takeaways about the VP debate last night?
I think the debate last night provides voters, right, another opportunity to see the contrast in this election. Governor Wall, you know, showed America exactly why Vice President Harris is the true leader who cares about the issues that matter most to American people, like people play last night. But plays the fact that they and Donald Trump have something in common, and that's lying. He got on that stage just like Trump does, and he lied. He wasn't really that people care about most. And it really just set another example of the contrast in the election on one side. You have Vice President Harris and Governor who understand who the voters care about, who understand that voters want, an opportunity to have money in their pocket to be able to take care of themselves and their families and not just get by and get ahead. And then you have Michigan and Donald Trump on the other side who are so out of touch with what the people want, what people are doing, continue to see divisive rhetoric that folks are growing so tired of and are ready to turn a new page. And that's exactly what Vice President Harris are running a campaign to do.
What did you think about the exchange regarding women's reproductive health, abortion rights, whether or not there would be a call for or the signing of a policy to nationally ban abortion across the country? Any comments or thoughts on that?
Donald Trump has consistently run his campaign right about this national abortion ban, and as it relates to our community, we understand how Black women's lives are literally under this election. That abortion ban results in doctors being punished and being feared to provide women the life saving care they need in Black women are 2 times more likely to die during childbirth than white women. When you look at some of the deaths that have happened already over the last few months as a result of Donald Trump's abortion ban, that first death was also a Black woman, right? So make no mistake, as they're playing political games and bragging about an abortion and bragging about something that is putting Black women's lives.
Well, one of the things I got like a lot of hits on kind of watching the debate was when there was talk from J.D. Vance about Donald Trump. I won't know if the word saving is correct, but the work that he did to protect the affordable. And people were like, Michelle, is this true? And I didn't know what was going on at an event. And so I'm like, okay, I got it. So this morning I finally going through everything to look and see what was said. Any comments about that?
Donald Trump has been obsessed, okay, obsessed with repealing Obamacare, right? This first season of the first Black president, this is something that has provided, more Black Americans with health care coverage, more Americans right now than ever before because of the work, because of the Affordable Care Act. President Harris, who's helping lead this administration to protect, right, this healthcare coverage and lower healthcare costs from Donald Trump and Republicans. And so, we it's the same old stuff with Donald Trump. Lies, lies, and more lies.
So I think the one thing that continues to make people nervous is when the question is posed to these, candidates, Trump signing the ticket or the Republican signing the ticket, will you accept the outcome of the election? People still can't bring themselves to admit that the 2020 election was not stolen from Donald Trump, that there was no fraud that led to him losing that election. And so when the question is being posed, what about 2025? When these election results come in, will you accept them? And you get Vance basically dedicating on like, know that we're gonna be able to do that. Comments about that because that's causing a lot of unease in the community. People are really worried after what we saw January 6th, what that could look like because they know that the effects, should Donald Trump not be successful, it's a wrap for him. He's 78, almost 80 years old. So you're not going to run. You're not running again at 83, 84. It is a wrap. So what do you all think? What do you all, you know, tell us that land with the campaign when you hear
I mean, the American voters just be careful with that, right? Donald Trump, he did. He decided a riot in the nation's capital, and put people's lives at risk on that day. And, they still will not acknowledge that he did this. So, we just have to, that's why it's so important that we show up on election day for Vice President Harris and Governor Walz and just make it very clear, right? This is our office. It's time to turn a page on this divisive rhetoric. We do not want, another January 6th or situation like that. And the fact that they can't even acknowledge that, telling us who they are, their character, and their plan for the future.
so last and I just um, in trying to figure out when we are watching issues unfold. I didn't get to hear everything that was said last night. I got to go back and watch it in its entirety. I just got sound. But as we are messaging folks in Wisconsin, and they said that they tried to hear big picture things that impacted their as voters. But there is some things that Wisconsin voters need to pay attention to, Black voters need to have paid attention to that we didn't come to this morning. We have the things that stood out for the campaign as either stark differences or noteworthy, like we need to understand clearly how this impacts the Black community or Wisconsin. Were there any issues like that that stood out for you?
I think, when you ask the question about, Trump, JD Vance, talking about overturning a bill and not being able to give a concrete answer, that really is important because of the Black mental health crisis that we're dealing with. And you have Vice President Harris who has continuously led on that issue and has continuously worked to combat, right, the reproductive freedom movement way across the country that is taking to the delivery of for Black women. I also think, we all know that our people, right? And Vice President Harris, our campaign is committed, and we understand that we have to earn every single vote, and that's exactly what we're doing. On one side, you have Vice President Harris, who is not only will help lead this administration in delivering historic progress for our community, right? Right now, we have record high Black employment because she's created millions of new jobs for Black workers. Right now, we have Black-owned businesses starting up the fastest rate of generations. Right now, we have more Black Americans with health care coverage than ever before. On the other side, you have Donald Trump and JD Vance. Donald Trump, during his time in office, Black unemployment was at an all-time high, right? It was our fault that disproportionately died because of his inability to lead us through the COVID-19 pandemic. Murder rate was high. All the issues that we care about still continue to do so. Whereas my son has already delivered historic progress, but it's committed to continuing to do more. When you look at, her focus on creating an opportunity economy that provides our communities with the tools we need to be economically successful, right? Providing us the tools we need to start small businesses and make sure that those businesses are successful. The tools we need to be first time homeowners, right? The tools we need to not have to deal with medical debt on our credit score. And the tools we need to be able to buy our everyday goods. Everybody knows the cost of groceries are too high. There's only one candidate in this election who has committed to holding a corporation that sets up accountable and stopping the price gouging. And so on the issues that we care about most, it is very simple. Vice President Harris has delivered and will continue to deliver, and Donald Trump has failed us and will continue to fail us.
Well, I mean, you have definitely helped, kind of lay out some clear differences. I think that as people are still trying to figure out what they're doing heading into the November 5th election, the more information, the better. So thank you so much. It is really appreciated. Jasmine, I know you got a lot of work to do and long days and nights ahead of you. So making time to speak with us this morning is greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, family. So look, we are hearing from a number of listeners that there is a problem hearing. They said they couldn't hear the caller. They are letting us know that we're having static on phone lines that go in and out. So it's not something. Yeah. Well, so yes, if you're listening on YouTube, some people just said they're listening on their phone. That is, like, you're listening on YouTube or watching. not something that's happening directly in the studio. So I would be interested in people that are hitting me up to let me know how you're listening to the show this morning. But it seems like it's either only online, um, or the streaming services that we're using right now. So we will continue to try to figure it out. And I apologize. I apologize for what's happening right now. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. Uh, Tyrone, I see you calling. But we're going to take a break for a couple of minutes to kind of see if we can get this in order, and then we'll be right back. So we need to hold. You can call us back. Michelle Bryant, WM 106.5. Be right back, family.
UNO.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much to everybody that's checking in to let us know what the audio sounds like on your end. The majority of people have said that things are fine, depending, and Lena is even listening, saying she was listening over the week. Everything sounded fine. Um, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for letting us know. We're trying to just figure out what's happening on some of the mediums that we're using. We had a caller that held through the break, so let me get him up first. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning to you. I was just calling because even though I'm kind of in my dialysis chair now, I'm just upset. I heard last week in Dallas, somebody called me and this guy about all the stuff Trump had did for black people. And I just couldn't believe that they would allow a sexist, racist, white supremacist to continue to say that he's going to do all this stuff for black men. And the other day he said something crazy. He said he was going to allow the police to have to do the crime. They're going to let the police have like a day or just do whatever they want to do. Who do you think would be the benefit? Who would benefit from that? Not black men or brown men. And it's like this racist stuff of God is just got black men running around here talking about how good he is. Like, master, any way you want to, and I'm going to be there for you. I just take it some days. Just listen to the garbage that comes out of black men's mouth about how good he is. Man, this guy, he's going to put you in Jim Crow too, and it's 2025, he going to have us sitting up in some place like concentration camp. Anybody know what it takes to support a million people? It's just like what they did to the Japanese in World War II. Take your put you in concentration camps and all of those things. Anybody know if you let that man become president, that man is going to treat minorities and others as and he don't appoint black people enough. He have no black judges. He over 4 years he was there. He didn't appoint out anybody to accept. Even now, his leadership team is all white. So you go like, how could you support somebody who hates your guts and then sits down and frowns at you about what he's gonna do for you? He ain't gonna do nothing to anybody but the white supremacist people, and he's not on his team.
All right. Thank you, Tyrone. I appreciate it. You got a lot going on. You were here. Like, we about to get some records straight up in here. The folks in the house is like, what's happening right now?
Yeah, because I can't do nothing for all this stuff. But but I am concerned about black men buying into this racist garbage that he's preaching. Suddenly, he gonna be the savior for us. He ain't gonna be the savior for nobody but the white supremacists. He's
Hey,
for.
all right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the call. And let me just take a second and be clear. That's better. There was a whole little series, little thing done on black women who are not supporting Kamala Trump. And I just had a conversation last night. I, I mean, what did I say? Kamala Trump, Jesus. Kamala Harris. I just had a, because I was really trying to get to the point. That's the right follow. I was having a conversation last night in which I was told that a black woman made a statement that, she was supporting Donald Trump. And she went on to say something, and this was locally, and so I got to talk to some other people to make sure that they heard it right. But that this sister went on to basically say she was supporting Donald Trump, and she made a statement like, "Would you want Kamala Harris around your man or your husband or something ignorant like Kamala Harris was a promiscuous chick on the prowl looking to take your man?" And I was like, "I know y'all lie. I know you lie. I know this chick did not say that." And two people were standing there saying, "Yeah, she did." This is black. I'm like, so let me, because all you talking about is Willie Brown, who was separate from his wife. Dating away. But all of the stuff that's going on in the world. So you got a man who who cheated on his wife with a hoochie porn star. Now she was pregnant. 19 women have come out and said this dude sexually assaulted them, and the courts found that they believed one of the women and ordered him to pay $5 million. And then because he couldn't shut up, it went up to $84 million. So you telling me you were concerned about some rumor about how Kamala Harris may or may not have gotten with Willie Brown back in the day. In the day, like Kamala Harris gonna be around your mate. Like she gonna even be in the same room with you. Like, oh my God. I was like, so I just want to be clear. 19 women come forward, and you're not worried about what those women had to say. You hear this nasty, filthy degenerate talking about grabbing women by their private because you're a celebrity and you can get away with it. And you hear it out of his own mouth. But as a woman and a black woman, that didn't concern you. A court, a jury sat up and listened to E. Jean Carroll's story. And they decided that they believed E. Jean Carroll and not Donald Trump. That didn't concern you for his sister who allegedly said this. And you just sit back and be like, what is wrong with y'all? Like some of y'all just, almost, and I can't take it. So I'm just gonna hold my peace. But I couldn't believe it. Like my mouth, my jaw must have dropped and stayed in a state of perpetual aghast, like for like 3 minutes. Because I was like, she said what? Like, and Trump gave us checks. What else has he given you? He helped with dismantling of the handling of COVID. So you might have got checks while other people got dead. While we had mass graves in New York, they weren't even putting people in single. They just was like throwing people and rolling them over into mass graves because so many people were dying. So, but you got to check, Negro, so you can be happy and tap dance. But other people lost their family right here in Milwaukee. But you got to check. You wouldn't have needed the check had this been handled correctly. I just said, I thank Jesus that I wasn't in the room when the stupidity got said. I thank Jesus that, somebody saw fit to have me in another location when the ignorance got said. Jesus, God, the Spirit, Allah, whoever was guiding my footsteps, and I was on the other side of town when the stupidity was reported to have been. You, as a black woman, question the promiscuity of Kamala Harris while fixing your face to say that you supported this womanizing tramp that is Donald Trump. I just want to I hope and pray that is not true. You can support him, but you can't tell me you support him on some moral high road. I gotta go to the phone. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm barely hanging in every day, bro. How you doing?
Good. I love this.
You know what? I gotta wait to hear what you're gonna say first, and then I'll know if I need.
I'm not deviating from that subject, but I am responding to something you said earlier about controversy.
Okay.
I remember an NBA player with Hurricane Katrina here. He had a kid, and he loaded up a tractor trailer with Katrina. I can't remember his name, but maybe you can remember that for me. Sometimes, when I meet different organizations, sometimes you gotta get up and just do it.
Absolutely.
I can't remember that NBA player's name. He played for a team on the maybe
So I know Kenny Smith. I know he's set up for fun. Kevin Garnett donated money. Yeah, it's a lot of players that actually did stuff during the course of Katrina, and I'm looking at a list of them right
Didn't Karl
now.
Malone have a?
Yeah, Malone.
Was it Karl Malone? Okay.
Yeah. So maybe this might help your blood pressure proceed.
Well,
Have a good
all right, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a Karl Malone fan, and I'm not a Karl Malone fan. That's something I saw him do over at Perkins one day. Um, yep, Perkins right across the street. I was in. No, wait, I'm not. It's not Karl Malone. Look it up right now. It's Dominique Wilkins. Um, Dominique Wilkins. 'Cause Dominique Wilkins played with Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It was
The
Dominique
Hawks, yeah.
Wilkins. Yeah, it's not Karl Malone. I like Karl Malone. I'm saying that wrong. So I got the story. I can move on. A lot of people.
You didn't arouse our curiosity now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm happy to. I'm happy to. A black woman from Milwaukee was on CBS News earlier, either this week or last week, and said she voted for Hovde because he's a businessman. She also said she felt safe when Trump was president. She's moving 30 miles away from Milwaukee because of the constant shootings in her neighborhood, and she's afraid for her son. You know, I don't begrudge anybody. You go who you want to make rational decisions. How does a person say she feels safer under Trump? I'm like, well, qualify. What does that mean? And I just had a conversation with somebody about, we can move 30 miles and 50 miles out of Milwaukee because of the shootings and the safety of the sun. You're moving to black some of these areas outside of Milwaukee. Good luck with good luck with all of it. Because you trade off one set of problems for another. Good luck with all of it. You're not sitting in the classroom every day with that child when some of these kids are in these classrooms with these kids, picking on these kids, isolating them and making them feel different or less than because they're black. It's a trade-off. Everybody that's black that has made decisions not to live in black neighborhoods and move to suburban communities have had to wait and struggle with certain things. Because whether you admit it or not, there is a trade-off. There is a trade-off. I don't get bullied, but I potentially get bullied. I don't get, reckless driving, but I potentially get what'd you say? Harassed. Thank you, Carl. It may not be somebody shooting at me, but it may be the police following me wherever I go. Like it's a trade-off. And it was one of the things that I as a parent had to think about raising this black boy that I have that was my son. And like, no, I'll take a chance on my community every day. I'm gonna if I got to bet, I'm betting on black folks every day. Every day. I'm betting on black folks. Every day. I'm betting on black folks. Every day. Every day. Because the same reason I sent my son to an HBCU. The exact same reason. What I say? After a year, if you decide you don't want to be there and you want to still go to University of Michigan, then we can transfer and make it happen. But right now, for your first formative year of education, I'm sending you where I know you're gonna be good. I know the teachers is gonna care. I know folks is gonna know who you are in that classroom. You will even be able to know the president of the university walking around on that campus because he's your frat brother. So when I was making that decision, Alabama State was the only place my son was going. The only place. So, you know, people they kill me because I would encourage some of these black parents to have to sit in class or move to a school day with their children sometimes in these environments. As somebody who went to a PWI, and I'm not going to tell you every day was a bad day or that I don't have white friends and relationships that were resorted from those experiences. And I will tell you that I didn't learn and gain from them. But I also understand because of the way I was brought up that I had a safety net in my black community. And I know I was somewhere the other day, and somebody said, well, girl, we got to hurry up and move around from over here. I said, girl, I ain't scared to go nowhere in my community. And I refuse to be scared. I ain't stupid. I understand when stuff look out of order, but I'm sorry. I'm not running nowhere trying to get away from my people. It just ain't going to happen. Now, I don't want to live nowhere crazy. I don't want to live nowhere raggedy. I don't want to live nowhere where people don't take care of their property. That's a different conversation. But this whole I'm running away from black people, man, y'all can miss me for all of that. That's beyond my scope of understanding. If I gotta be in a foxhole, I'm gonna be in a foxhole with black folks. Every time. Every time. Now that I've had, Debo and Carvey, can y'all come here because I'm gonna play a song. I'm gonna plug it in. But I just gotta play it. And I just, you know, I love my son. My son hit me up this morning. He said, Mom, he said, have you um listened to this song called Black Leaves in Mississippi? And I was like, no, I'm not up on it. And he was like, it's done by this. And I was like, okay. I said, wait, let me hear it. And so I'm gonna try to hear it. Okay. So while we get this brought up, hang on. So this song was actually all right, hang on, family and Big Red for you ready guys?
Black leaves on the Mississippi, and we've got garden, we've got sons and daughters, we got grit and glory, we got stories, we've got strength like that.
So I had to go back because I was like, that sounds a little familiar, but I had to be honest, I didn't completely remember it. But there was the documentary and that was a song that was done for that um, for that for that movie. You know, um, Emmett Till's mom, Amy Till, and her struggle for justice for her son. And so the young sister wrote it, a songwriter about singer-songwriter about Kirby, who's also performing it. She wrote in an interview, she said, quote, I'm not proud of the history of my son. But as a black woman from Mississippi, I am humbled and proud to sing of the courage, resilience, and strength of Emmett Till's mother, Mamie Till. And, you know, I had to go back and I was like, "Well, I want to see the lyrics to this song because some of it, you know, you kind of like really listen close. So let me just take a second and walk these lyrics down for a second. Black leaves on the Mississippi River, black leaves in the Mississippi fire, black leaves in the Mississippi choir, black leaves on the Mississippi land. And we've got God and hope. We've got sons and daughters. We've got grit and glory. We've got mama's story. We've got strength like towers. We got hope and power. God made woman with an iron hand, raised her on heaven's land. God made woman with an iron hand, raised her up on heaven's land. With strength like towers, we've got hope and power. Got me woman with an iron head, raised her up. Heaven's bed. When I think I think about my folks. I'm sorry. I want to shop where we at. I want to see us in the grocery store. I want to hear Luther playing when I walk in the grocery store. I'm okay with that. Um, I want to nod morning or just nod. I ain't even got to say morning. They know. They know what's happening. Um, I want to see little black kids running around by me and getting in my way. And I'm like, somebody need to get that kid. Somebody get your child. And then like tell them, come here. Come here, let me talk to you. I love the black experience for all that it is, both. I'm never running from it. Because the one thing I understand, don't nobody run to our try to take go to Halliard Park and see what's going on. We always run into other folks stuff instead of making ours what we need and what we want it to be. And some folks are like, I'm tired. I ain't got time to fight and fight, Michelle. I've been in the fight for years and years and years. And I appreciate it. I do. I respect it. But I know this. If you don't do the work don't get done. And everybody not gonna step up and do their part. You won't always get everybody on the same page. But at some point, you can stop thinking that white ice is colder, that white communities are safe, because it's a different trade-off. It's a different trade-off. And yep, you can get amazing experiences and you can go to amazing places. And you go to, PWI's white serving institutions, you get these opportunities. But I also know that the majority of black folks that are educated in this country have been educated through HBCUs. I know that when you go into many of these rooms, that a lot of these people from corporations have gone to HBCUs. I know that we've had the best of both worlds. With a Harvard graduate in terms of Barack Obama being, the first black president of the United States, and an HBCU graduate in terms of Kamala Harris, and then the path that she's on right now, we need to get to the White House. It can be done either way. And I always say to the folks that if you move to the suburbs, don't act like you forgot where you came from. Don't act like you don't know how to go back. Because some people only come back to go to church on Sunday and then you go back to the conclaves in the suburbs. I'm not mad at you living in the suburbs, but it's still work to be done in this community. We'll get to walk away from that. We'll get to turn our back on that. And there's some people that's happy to do that because they got the means and the resources to do that. But if you're not okay, I'm not okay. And yeah, people, I can't risk my child's life on that. And I got all the arguments. I done heard them all. I done had them all. I've been through them all with my own child and my own family situation. And I'm not telling everybody that my way is your way. But what I am saying is that we all have a commitment to make sure that the black community, we do. Whether we pick up and we move somewhere else, we still got a responsibility to this community and and the work that has to be done to make it right and make it better for everybody else. Because like I said, ain't nobody running to our neighborhood. We forever running to somebody else. Forever. Forever. And because we always willing to run, we don't have the goods and services we need in our community. And it's not just about us and behavior and, people that stole some out of the store, because the majority of black people don't behave that way and y'all know it. So we give people justification for the mess that they pull when they leave our community. Because you can put systems in place to better help you with, retail theft and that issue. And then we find out that some of the stores say, you know what, we lied. It wasn't retail theft. We just wanted to get up out of there. We just wanted to leave. And we have figured out that wherever we go, y'all will follow us. Y'all won't demand stores and goods and retail services for your own. You just follow us where we go. We go to Tulsa, we go to Menominee Falls, we go to Brookfield, we go to Madison, we go to where we go, y'all gonna come. And I used to listen to all of the black people. Oh, I don't shop at Walmart. Falls. It's so clean there. And it's so stay on the store management to make sure that they tighten up everything. I'm not driving 30 miles to have a clean white. I want to be able to drive 10 miles away and go where I need to go. I'm not doing it. That's me. And I appreciate it. I respect that. But if we all walk away, what's left? Just like the conversation they was having about this Milwaukee Public and the buildings that are under 50% utilization and haven't had increases in enrollment, and these buildings are going to be shut down. Money to the dollar, a lot of them schools is going to be on the north side of Milwaukee because we insist on not demanding and making sure that our schools perform at the level of suburban schools, of, uh, of some of these south side schools. We ain't going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do the work. I'm just going to pull up and move and leave. I'm not going to do the work. And then we wake up, and then our kids don't have nowhere to go. As I said, they got to ride a bus an hour and a half to get to a Southside school when all the little kids on the Southside got to do is get them out their damn bike to school, walk to school. Like, it's too much. I can't do it with y'all. What is it? Schools that may be closed. We're talking about other people's business, what they gonna do with all these things. So schools that maybe could potentially be on the chopping block. And it says these strategy candidate group lists are part of an ongoing evaluation process and do not reflect the final decision or proposed strategy. They represent an interim step that additional stakeholder engagement is required before proceeding with remaining steps in the process. School year 23-24 data was used to create these initiative updates. Okay. Thank you so much to the individual that's so let me name this group that you're saying should be considered for closing. Andrew Douglas, Our Avenue, Brown Street Academy, Bryant Elementary, Carver Academy, Clark Street, High Mount, Holmes, Hopkins Lloyd, Jackson Elementary, James Madison High School, Fifth Avenue Elementary, King Junior Elementary, Pilot Elementary, Lincoln Middle School, Marshall High School, Morrison Middle School, Project Stay, Roosevelt Middle School, Rufus King Middle School, Sherman Elementary, Seaford Elementary, Storms Discovery, Transition High, Washington High School, West Side Academy. Tell me how many South Side schools are that. It is all out. Did you hear this list? Thank you to the individuals. Did you hear this list? But see, a lot of this is our duty. A lot of this is our duty because again, Mr. Charlie's Isis clothing, rather than getting my butt in the school and making my school for my child what I want it to be and getting with other parents to make sure that that happens. I don't have that kind of time to show. I gotta go to work. I got other things to do. I'm just gonna send my child to where I think is better. And we gonna just hope for the best. But white folks ain't sending their kids over to the north side to go to y'all. They working on their side of town to make sure, and Hispanics working on their side of town to make sure that they schools. Did y'all hear this list? And people left that MPS meeting at Rufus King on Monday night frustrated because they're not telling y'all what schools to be shopping about. And so there were people that said, we got more games than MPS. We got more games. So I'm just saying, we're going to be a part of the solution, but we're going to continue to have problems. I'll talk to y'all later this afternoon. Peace. Thank you, Tilo. Thank you, Carl.